Part of the lawsuit down in the county to our south has to do with noise, environmental impacts of the rejuvenation of the railroad. Has there been any discussion in communities north into Sonoma or Mendocino having those same concerns?
Well, no. In fact, the meeting held in Petaluma was, I think there were, as I said, about 70 people in attendance, and about 25 or so spoke in very much in favor of the railroad. And I know that there's support in Healdsburg and there's support in Santa Rosa. But again, it's a legal, very much sapping the resources, having the legal game that's being played.
Sure.
And also having essentially people on your board who you've got to kind of work around when it comes to talking about strategy. And this has been challenged. The legal strategy was being discussed in an operator committee. That has been challenged and has been discussed in the authority as a whole, the board as a whole. And that's what we're going to the Attorney General for an opinion, simply because it's the two members will not recuse themselves from discussions in that setting.
It just came to me in the middle of the night here a couple of nights ago that the concern of rejuvenated railroad brings maybe new noise to recently moved residents that hadn't enjoyed that noise in the past, and the railroad's been absent for so long. Residents have moved in, etc., and they're going to see that as a change in their quality of life.
Well, I think that's very definitely an issue. That's part of the whole Novato objection. What was interesting to me was to see how many grain and agricultural interests spoke. I don't think I've seen more farmers in a room or ag operators in a room for a long time, coming in, talking about the number, the tons of feed that could be moved in and out of Petaluma, the old center of the distribution center, and how that was has been impacting the town. So in that sense, Petaluma is strongly behind it. Their neighbor down the road is not so economically integrated into the issue.
First of all, go back on this meeting we're having next week with on the water. Anyways, that was Assembly Bill 2121, right?
Right.
Can we get a copy? I'd like to have a copy of that actual law sometime.
Quickly.
The actual law itself. And back to the railroad issue. I realize it's not really been an official policy change of the North Coast Rail Authority, but it's something that I think that the board is, and I totally support the realization that getting the railroad to Willits is probably the more realistic goal when talking about getting the railroad through the canyon. I mean, and to have their limited financial resources concentrate on that is, I support it because it's more realistic than what the idea of, well, we're going to open the whole line at once and go through the canyon. That just wasn't a realistic position. So I realize it hasn't been a policy basically change in the North Coast Rail Authority, more probably of just an attitude switch, but I totally support the realization that, you know, to me it's realistic to get the railroad open to Willits. It's totally unrealistic to get it open and keep open through the canyon. So.
Well, I think that has been implicit in the what Novato is saying is the segmentation of the issue. They want an EIR for the full length, including the canyon, which just ends the project. I mean, because by the time you put that together,
that's right.
We're talking way out in the future. So the policy, by implication at least, is that we'll deal with the southern part now, the northern part later, but then we have activities taking part in the far north area from Eureka, from Fortuna up to Arcata.
Yeah, and that's great.
And that's the way it's worked out. That's where the action's taking place. Yeah.
Because for a while, the North Coast Rail Authority, they had some commissioners on there that felt that it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this new Rail Authority board has realized that you know, we need to concentrate on the south end first.
Okay, any additional reports? Okay, seeing none, go to public expression. Ms. Bruckler? None today? All right, thank you very much. And at this time, we'll recess to closed session, reporting back if there's any action after that.